Bro, date like it's your job sounds insane, but I kinda get it.
It sounds like HR wrote a manifesto for people who can't get dates.
But the key part is send out 200 resumes and deal with rejection.
Yeah, and it reframes dating as repetition, not fate or vibes only.
And the apps are a tool line. People treat them like slot machines.
You pull the lever, and destiny owes you dopamine.
Exactly. And then they wonder why they feel depressed and hopeless.
The top of funnel thing is actually useful, though, where matches aren't dates.
Top of funnel equals marketing. Bottom equals loyalty and disappointment.
That distinction matters because men often try to fix dating with relationship skills.
Or the reverse. People jump to seduction when they really need substance.
He basically says attractiveness is selection, and selection is opportunity.
Opportunity is such a savage word for romance, but it's accurate.
He also goes, less conventional attractiveness means you learn seduction.
Seduction is the word that scares people, but it's really attention control.
Attention, engagement, and not ruining the fantasy in 10 minutes.
Yes, the don't disabuse her too quickly part is so real.
Because the app sells an image, and the date tests reality gently.
And he calls it slow and gradual disappointment like that's a feature.
That sounds like therapy in disguise, but with better lighting.
I don't love the cynical tone, though, like disappointment is inevitable.
Maybe, but the alternative is performing forever, and that burns people out.
The first crisis couples pass through is disappointment idea. Hook, then clarity.
Hook plus halo effect, then scales drop, then you see annoying habits.
And suddenly cute becomes, how are you this loud?
Or they said they liked music becomes they like one playlist.
Still, I'm stuck on the macro claims, especially the whole population collapse vibe.
He's drawing a straight line from dating apps to civilization collapse.
But at least he argues fewer people hooking up, fewer casual relationships.
And that matters culturally, because sex historically precedes commitment in many scripts.
Okay, but where do we land practically for regular humans who just want a partner?
He lands on strategy plus massive action and get outside.
There's no antidote is brutal. Like learning a language, you just fail repeatedly.
The antidote is humiliation, apparently.
Look, rejection is cheaper than obsession, I guess.
Also, he stresses attractiveness as controllable marketing, photos, outfit, hygiene.
He even talks like money is an attraction proxy, not the real magnet.
Money buys attention, not meaning, unless you're shopping for shallow.
And then he drops the actor analogy. Fame in a tiny spotlight equals contextual alpha.
Lead on the marquee for 2 hours is oddly motivating.
But is renown reproducible for normal people or just a celebrity cheat code?
I think the translation is, be distinct in a context so people can place you.
Like if you're invisible, you don't get selection, you get wallpaper.
He said men feel invisible, especially young men with no money, no job, no skills.
That invisibility piece ties to his suicidality angle, which I don't want to laugh at.
Yeah, masculinity in crisis can become isolation in the worst cases.
He also says therapy isn't a universal solution, and that's controversial.
Because some people hear therapy is useless and go full anti-help movement.
But he's more like therapy helps certain problems, not therapy never works.
Still, the internet will clip it into a villain origin story.
The part I liked. Men process through action, women through emotional processing.
I push back a bit, people aren't that binary, but the directional tendency might be real.
And then communication, he's big on feminine resonance versus masculine semantics.
Vibe versus facts, basically, but with more psychology words.
The tuning forks metaphor is interesting. Words are containers for emotion.
Like saying please sweetly versus threateningly, same semantic word, different impact.
That's not even controversial, that's just acting class common sense.
Which is why he transitions into his game of please no.
The consent-adjacent idea. Start with no, earn yes gradually, don't surprise.
I like don't rush, But game makes it sound like conquest math sometimes.
True, but he frames it as pro-social exchange. Give commensurate value for what you want.
Universe lives closed is such a wild line, though.
It's like cosmic bureaucracy. Default answer is no because resources matter.
And the practical version is approach warmly, respect the answer, move slowly.
He says don't surprise, don't get too close, don't touch, use body language.
Which is also just don't be weird, but with tactical steps.
Okay, but I want the big takeaway for listeners. What do they do tomorrow?
Tomorrow, treat dating like reps, improve photos, outfit/hygiene, then do real-world attempts.
And don't confuse attraction with retention, right? Different problems, different fixes.
Exactly. Marketing gets you the first date, character and compatibility get you the relationship.
The romance funnel is basically sales funnel, unfortunately.
Romance is just commerce with better fonts, apparently.
All right, we'll stop here before we turn this into a full dating playbook.
In episode 2, we go deeper on retention and how couples avoid the perform forever trap.
Thanks for hanging with us. Go outside, get reps, and keep it respectful.
And yeah, we'll see you next episode, where the funnel turns into a relationship.
Teaser for episode 2. We're unpacking selection, value exchange, and why novelty keeps sex alive.
Okay, wait. Date like it's your job is the most unhinged but correct framing I've heard.
It's unhinged, but it's basically send resumes, get rejections, iterate.
And the salary is a decent conversation and maybe an actual second date.
But the point isn't cynicism, it's operating with strategy instead of vibes alone.
Do you think most people are just treating apps like casinos?
Yeah, they sit there like, why isn't the universe rewarding me for existing?
I get the marketing funnel analogy, but doesn't that reduce romance to metrics?
Romance is already metrics, we just pretend it's magic to feel better.
That selection part is the key, though. More opportunities means better outcomes.
And also, if you're not conventionally attractive, you can't hide, so you learn game.
Game sounds sleazy, but it's really just learning what gets attention.
The doctor made that ads in business translation, and it clicked for me.
Like, pickup artistry is just sales persuasion, pretending it's a personality test.
Sure, but I still hate how some people weaponize it and call it confidence.
The line between being strategic and being manipulative is real, obviously.
Exactly. Marketing gets you in the door, but character decides whether you get invited back.
And retention is basically, can you keep her fantasy intact without performing forever?
Slow disappointment, not emotional whiplash. Don't murder the illusion on date 1.
Crisis of disappointment sounds like therapy speak for letting reality arrive gracefully.
It's cruel, but attraction distorts perception. Too much or too little breaks the process.
But I want to push back. Isn't distortion just rationalization for settling?
It could be if you never improve and just blame your fantasy.
Okay, but the macro part is where I felt the pain, relationship crisis, fewer hookups, fewer marriages.
And the paradox is wild. Tech made it easier, but it feels harder to actually connect.
She said casual sex transactions are down even since the pill era. How is that even possible?
Maybe people are pickier, or screens replaced momentum, or social skills atrophied.
Also, porn and the sexually satisfied state claim. Do you buy that whole thing?
I buy parts, I don't buy the one-cause storyline that explains human desire like software.
But the core idea is that dopamine substitutes can change incentives, especially for men.
Right, and then you get the invisibility problem for young men. No money, no skills, so they're wallpaper.
Wallpaper men is hilarious and depressing at the same time.
It's basically, you're not unwanted, you're unseen. That's brutal for a teenager's brain.
The suicide stats tangent felt heavy, worth saying, connection matters more than platitudes.
And you're needed is nice, but actually creating opportunities to be needed is the real fix.
That's also why the action reveals purpose line resonated. Stop overthinking. Go behave.
Which is why the date like it's your job mantra works. You can't iterate in your head.
Still, for dating apps specifically, what's the strategy practically?
Basically, use apps for outreach, then take it offline fast and don't freeze during the meet.
So not, I matched, therefore love will happen. More like, I matched, now I have to lead.
Exactly, you matched, congrats, you earned the interview. Now perform.
And the interview question is, can you create comfort, curiosity, and escalation?
The feminine communication is emotional resonance part. What did you make of that?
It sounded a bit gender boxy, but I get the point. Words carry emotion containers.
Yeah, semantic meaning isn't enough. Tone, timing, vibe, those are the real payloads.
So the robot problem is, a man speaks facts while the other person wants to feel understood.
Vibe isn't nonsense. It's shared emotional context, like tuning forks.
Okay, then why do so many men talk too much on dates? Proving value, not building resonance.
Because they're scared the fantasy will die, so they over-explain themselves.
But she's saying the best first date move is protect the mystery without lying.
The art is communicate just enough to be real, not enough to be scrutinized like a spreadsheet.
And then moving down the funnel means keeping novelty alive. Travel, distance, new context.
Dude, that absence makes the heart grow fonder logic is basically legit science dressed as poetry.
But the phone tracking era kills that. How is any mystery supposed to survive?
Yeah, certainty all day long, then people wonder why passion feels dead.
I worry we're romanticizing novelty while ignoring deeper relationship repair.
Fair, but novelty is a lever, like turning a dial, doesn't replace communication or respect.
Let's talk about value exchange, though. Sex, security, excitement, emotional support.
The value isn't just money point was important, because people immediately think gold digging.
Value in relationships is time, energy, attention, safety, very non-taximeter stuff.
Exactly. And the Austrian-ish definition is people move toward what they want, not what looks good on paper.
That's why being incognito can be attractive, but also risky. If nobody's curious, you're invisible.
Invisible men versus hypervisible women. Same ecosystem, totally different starting positions.
The example of women being approached constantly at night is horrifying, honestly.
And the consent culture makes it scarier for men, too. Risk of recording, cancellation, humiliation.
But the takeaway can't be never approach. It has to be approach correctly.
Which is why I loved the game of please no thing. Default answer is no, and you work from there.
The universe runs on no like it's a firewall.
You start with warmth, you don't surprise, you respect distance, and you let their no be graceful.
And the giver-receiver frame makes rejection feel less personal and more procedural.
Rejection as status update, not your entire bloodline is doomed.
That's how you keep approaching without spiraling. Also, it's actionable.
Exactly. If you treat it like reps, it stops being a moral trial and becomes skill building.
Okay, I'm convinced. Dating as a job is just be trainable and be respectful.
And if it's trainable, you can get better. No destiny required.
Episode 2, better not let us off the hook though, retention and perform forever avoidance.
Oh, we're going there. Why you need selection, value exchange, and novelty to keep sex alive.
All right, that's it for this one. Go outside, take your shots, and be kind about the nose.
Respect the funnel, respect people, and we'll see you next episode.
Teaser for episode 2. We unpack selection and retention and why perform forever kills attraction.
Yo, dating like a job is such a mindset shift. It's almost annoying.
Annoying how? Like it steals your excuses and gives you homework.
Exactly. If you treat it like reps, you stop auditioning and start training.
But what if someone says, training for dating sounds degrading?
Degrading? Nah, it's only degrading if you confuse effort with entitlement.
Yeah, the job framing implies standards. Be respectful, track outcomes, iterate.
And the biggest KPI is not getting a yes. It's learning what works.
The Orion guy keeps saying funnel, And I'm like, okay, explain the funnel to my ego.
Your ego is the product, brother. You're marketing yourself with emotions attached.
So my Hinge bio is a resume and my first date is a cover letter.
More like a sales call where you accidentally overshare and lose the room.
Wait, but oversharing is sometimes because you're nervous, not because you're trying too hard.
True, but job mindset means you plan for nerves like they're part of the process.
Like, script your opening, then improvise with warmth, not panic.
Exactly. Don't become someone else, just become learnable and consistent.
Okay, talk to me about the top of funnel stuff on apps, because everyone gets stuck there.
Apps are brutal because it's like 6 photos, 3 messages, and she judges vibes instantly.
It's basically a meat market with Wi-Fi, and we pretend it's romance.
So if you bomb at the top, it's often not "you're doomed." It's marketing and presentation.
Marketing still sounds cold, though. Where's the human part?
Human part is respecting attention, not pretending attention is infinite.
Okay, but he also says, everyone can be more attractive, which I like, and I hate it.
You hate it because it implies you can't outsource the problem to fate.
Yeah, Destiny doesn't have gym membership pricing, unfortunately.
Look, even small stuff stacks. Hygiene, haircut, outfits, confidence in posture.
And seduction he frames as directing attention to your purpose, not manipulation.
Right. Pickup community taught some guys to test outcomes like behavioral scientists.
But some pickup stuff is sleazy, and men copy the worst parts.
That's why job framing matters. If it's just tactics, you'll become a liar with charisma.
Whereas training means you build real social competence, not just charm-flavored deception.
The prove your value disease. First date turns into a TED Talk you didn't even consent to.
I've done that. I was like, let me explain my entire biography. Why?
Because you think you're auditioning, but she's already sitting with a fantasy.
Fantasy meaning unknown potential, and your job is not to murder it instantly.
Slowly disappointed, like not in cruelty and accuracy.
That line always bugs me. Slow disappointment. Isn't that cynical?
It's realistic. If you keep performing forever, you burn out and the relationship turns fake.
So retention needs substance, not just initial magnetism.
Exactly. Attraction versus keeping are 2 different jobs in the same company.
This is where the emotional vibe thing comes in, right? Like semantic versus resonance.
Semantics is what you say. Resonance is what you make her feel in her body.
But you can't control her feelings that much, can you?
You can't force it, but you can tune your delivery. Tone, pace, warmth, intention.
The tuning forks analogy is actually clean. 2 frequencies align, or they don't.
And men who are robot literal miss the emotional container part of language.
Guilty again. I'll say I'm curious, but in my face it reads, I'm interrogating.
Then the message is technically received, but emotionally it's rejected.
Okay, shifting gears. The whole episode is blaming dating apps and the sexual marketplace, right?
Yeah, because he claims relationships are in a crisis. Fewer people marry, fewer even hook up.
And he argues sex precedes commitment culturally. So when sex drops, the downstream breaks too.
I buy the dating is worse part, but population collapse as the headline is intense.
Population collapse talk makes everyone's dating life feel like an economics paper.
Still, even if you ignore the macro, the micro problem is, am I invisible?
Right. Men get less visibility, especially young men with no money, no job history, no status signals.
So he says young men are wallpaper until they gain skills, money, and social proof.
And then guys try performative masculinity to become not wallpaper.
Like peacocking, but with identity branding. Big muscles, loud opinions, maximal contrast.
But contrast isn't character. If it's just performance, it might get attention, but not trust.
Exactly. Visibility is not intimacy. The job is to become someone worth knowing.
He also linked this to mental health, men's suicidality rates, and isolation.
It's painful because invisibility doesn't just affect dating, it affects belonging.
And he's saying action beats endless thinking. Find your purpose, by moving through the world.
Which is honestly dating advice too. Go fail publicly, then learn privately.
And the massive action part, he's basically telling men, stop waiting for perfect conditions.
Perfect conditions don't exist, bro. They're like unicorns with good lighting.
Okay, last chunk, the game of please no. That part is wild.
It's brilliant, though. Default answer to requests is no, so learn to ask cleanly.
So instead of creeping up, you approach slowly with warmth, respecting consent and space.
Don't surprise, don't invade, like you're approaching a deer, not a target.
The deer metaphor is undefeated. My heart rate will still be deer level, though.
But you're building a respectful ask and accept muscle, so no stops being personal.
And that loops back to job mindset. Rejection becomes data, not identity.
Yes, track it, adjust, keep your dignity, and move on fast.
All right, I'm locked in. Next episode, better not let us hide behind top-of-funnel training.
Oh, we're going straight into selection and retention, and why perform forever kills attraction.
Cool, cool. Go outside, take your shots, and be kind about the nose.
Respect the funnel, respect people, and we'll see you next episode.
Teaser, Episode 2, Why Selection Matters and How to Avoid Perform Forever Avoidance.
Job mindset is actually the only way dating doesn't destroy you.
Because if it's a job, you don't take rejection home emotionally.
You just update your resume and reschedule the interview, bro.
But what I love is the funnel idea, like different problems at different stages.
Yeah, top of funnel is marketing, not your soul.
People act like one bad match proves they're unlovable. It's insane.
Dating apps are literally 6 photos and 3 messages.
And we still expect true character to survive that formatting.
Exactly, you're selling an idea first, not the whole movie.
So the advice is basically control what you can control in the preview.
Exterior marketing, hygiene, fitness, boring but effective.
And the wild part, money isn't the cheat code everyone thinks.
It's an attraction proxy, not real attraction that makes someone stay.
Like bottle service buys attention, not compatibility.
Attention is step 1. Keeping someone is a totally different skill.
That's selection versus retention, right?
Yes, and retention needs substance, not just vibes or outfits.
I also like the brutal truth about first dates. You're not really known.
Women aren't rejecting the real you yet. They're rejecting a preview fantasy.
So when guys over-explain and overshare, they kill the fantasy fast.
They come in like, let me prove I'm valuable for 45 minutes.
And the date is like, cool, now I'm depressed.
The goal is slow disappointment, not instant honesty cosplay.
Slow disappointment sounds cruel, but also kind of accurate.
It's not cruel, it's just reality. Attraction creates distortion.
Too much attraction makes you delusional, but too little makes you quit early.
So the sweet spot is enough magnetism to take the risk.
And then the crisis of disappointment is when the honeymoon halo drops.
Right, relationship starts when you can finally see the human, not the ideal.
That's why people suddenly get mad at the same traits they loved.
The irony is always the most attractive thing becomes the most annoying thing.
But can we talk about the macro stuff for a second? Population decline and all that?
I mean, that's the background radiation. Less marriage, fewer hookups, more confusion.
It feels almost paradoxical. Technology makes it easier, but it's harder emotionally.
Dating apps give opportunity, but also scale rejection and comparison.
And men become wallpaper, like invisible until they're useful or flashy.
Especially young men. No money, no resume, no team player track record.
That catch-22 is brutal. You can't get experience without getting chosen.
Which is why worthiness gets confused with usefulness in the market.
And the therapist's point about action over rumination, hit the world, don't think your way out.
Move, try, fail, and your purpose stops being a concept and becomes a pattern.
That's basically revealed preferences, but for life choices.
The brain loves theorizing. The world loves consequences.
Now, on women's side, why do they come in asking, how do I get a man to marry me?
because they're usually struggling to find the men they actually want long term.
Not that they want therapy forever, but they want the right fit to exist.
Also, women and men process emotions differently. Action versus emotional processing.
So therapy-style mismatch is common, like the same tool doesn't fit both hands.
Exactly. Plus, most practitioners are women, so men may not feel safe opening up.
And then men spiral privately because rejection feels like danger, not data.
That please no idea hits hard here. Default is no, and you train through it.
The game is hilarious on the surface, but it's basically consent through clarity.
Yeah, please is the ask, no is the reality check, and you handle it calmly.
And the receiver, whoever they are, gets to stay in control of the boundary.
Which is why approach anxiety drops when you stop making it personal.
You're not auditioning for love, you're negotiating a tiny request.
Tiny asks reduce risk, and risk reduction increases recovery speed.
Okay, I'm buying the whole slow approach, warm energy, no surprise closeness thing.
Distance, body language, tone, because words carry emotion containers.
So it's not only what you say, it's whether she feels understood emotionally.
Feminine resonance versus masculine semantics. People fight because they're mismatched.
I'll push back a bit. Generalizing gender communication can get sloppy.
Fair, but the core idea, emotional vibration matters, is hard to deny.
And that's where seduction becomes attention direction, not manipulation.
Seduction is building a shared micro-world with your partner.
Like, we're in this universe now, and outside noise fades.
Exactly. Hygiene, gym, outfits, then communication that lands emotionally.
And your job is do inputs, track outcomes, iterate fast.
Just stop pretending one date is the verdict on your entire identity.
Your KPI is conversion rate, not your worth as a human.
All right, we're wrapping. Next episode, we go selection and retention for real.
Yeah, episode 2 is how to avoid perform forever and make retention stop feeling like a job.
Until then, respect the funnel, keep your dignity, and keep learning from the no's.
Teaser, episode 2, why selection matters and how to avoid perform forever avoidance.
Yeah, and people hate this part, but it's the most practical. Outcomes teach you.
Most people want insight before effort, like effort is optional.
Bro, dating apps don't reward vibes, they reward iteration.
Okay, but when you say iteration, what's the unit, profile tweaks or behavior tweaks?
Both, but start with the funnel location, top of funnel versus collapsing later.
Like if you're getting 0 matches, don't suddenly become a poet.
Exactly, you're not a philosopher yet, you're a marketer with a heartbeat.
But dudes overcorrect, right? They keep rewriting themselves like it's a job application.
It's because they treat rejection like an indictment, not data.
I got ghosted. Therefore, I am cursed. That's the mental model.
Stop making it identity level, make it campaign level, like this angle isn't landing.
So attractiveness is like a proxy variable, right? Hygiene, clothes, fitness, inputs.
Then seduction is the skill that turns inputs into outcomes.
And communication is the engine, especially emotional resonance, not just word choice.
Wait, so you're saying being nice isn't enough unless she already finds you attractive?
I've heard that argument, but it still feels harsh to say nice is irrelevant.
Nice matters a lot, just not as the ignition switch for attraction.
Like you can be kind and still be invisible because she's selecting from a distance.
Apps are literal meat markets with better typography.
And it's 6 photos and 3 messages, so selection pressure is brutal and fast.
Which leads to a weird tragedy. People think love is felt instantly, but it's screened.
Screening plus scarcity plus attention. That's the macro vibe, right? Relationship crisis.
Yeah, fewer people forming relationships, fewer hookups even, and way more confusion.
Confusion for both sides, but in different ways.
Men get invisibility, women get options overload, and then, where is the quality anxiety?
And the top 10% thing? Do you buy it as the real mechanic?
I buy the pattern. Whether it's exact math, the effect is still concentrated attention.
Concentrated attention creates concentration of outcomes, and then everybody else feels insane.
Exactly. Meanwhile, the market sells masculinity as a product.
Performative masculinity as visibility tactics. Biceps, posture, props, the whole package.
People don't want truth. They want a signal that can be processed quickly.
Which explains why fame and renown can beat raw money sometimes.
Yep, contextual alpha, like the room changes your status instantly.
So basically, become the main character, but ethically.
Ethically, socially, and with competence. Otherwise, it's just cosplay confidence.
Now, retention, because the job framing isn't just get the date, it's keep the relationship.
This is where people mess up. What attracts isn't what maintains.
Like marketing gets you clicks, but retention depends on fulfillment and compatibility.
Attraction is pro-fantasy, not truth, so eventually disappointment arrives.
The slow, gradual disappointment arc, like DLC you didn't ask for.
Exactly. If you avoid that, you end up performing forever.
And then couples think, why don't I feel that spark anymore? When it's actually learning the real person.
Spark needs novelty, but also needs honesty. Two different jobs.
Novelty as oxygen. Travel, new roles, even new bedsheets. Whatever creates context change.
The foreign bedsheets theory is undefeated.
But people use novelty to dodge deeper stuff too.
True, but we're talking micro-level seduction today, not escaping accountability.
Okay, let's go to approach anxiety. The fear of asking, can we talk in public?
Because of fear of being recorded, canceled, misread, men freeze.
And that freeze is basically self-sabotage, but it's rational to them.
So they overcompensate with nervous proximity and surprise, which triggers rejection harder.
That don't surprise her rule, give me the mental image.
Like approaching a deer. Slow movement, warm vibe, hands visible, no rushing.
I am not a threat animal.
And the game, please no, where no is the default response.
Universe lives in the no position, apparently.
It costs nothing to want, but it costs to give, so the asymmetry is real.
And the solution is exchange of commensurate value, right? Attention, time, money, sex.
Yep, transaction of unequal goods with comparable value, otherwise there's no relationship engine.
People call it gold digging when they refuse to admit that exchange exists.
Exchange can be noble. The problem is when people lie about the terms.
And in modern dating, lying about terms happens because everyone's trying to skip the funnel.
Which is why the job analogy is so good. Send resumes, get feedback, iterate fast.
KPI, conversion rate, not your worth as a human.
Exactly. Now go build skill, not just a profile.
And respect the no's. Those are training signals, not verdicts.
All right, we're wrapping this episode. Keep learning, keep your dignity, and keep moving.
We'll see you next time. Episode 2 is where I care. We talk selection and retention and how to avoid perform forever.
Next episode, how to stop dating like a performance and start building real stickiness. Dating like it's your job is such a clean mental model, man.
It's basically send resumes, but replace HR with horny humans.
Don't say horny humans. My therapist is going to unionize.
Fine, replace it with the market, and we're still doomed.
The key is the rejection isn't a sentence, it's feedback.
Feedback for what, though? Your pictures, your words, your whole vibe?
All of it. But start at the top of the funnel. Matches and first impressions.
So if a guy gets no matches, you're saying it's marketing, not destiny.
Yes, because on apps, it's 6 photos and 3 responses. Instant snapshot judgment.
People really think they're being judged as a person there.
Bro, it's a meat market window display, not a sacred character audition.
Sacred auditions, where the casting director has ADHD and no patience.
But the hard part is, men confuse kind with attractive, and women kinda do too.
Wait, explain. Because when women say, I want a kind man, everyone just becomes a polite doormat.
Kindness matters, but attractiveness is what gets you selected in the first place.
So the missing ingredient is what? Confidence, frame, charisma?
It's the whole package: presentation, emotional resonance, and direction toward a purpose.
Direction toward a purpose is like seduction as attention with intent, right?
Exactly. Seduction isn't manipulation by default. It's steering the interaction.
Okay, but my inner cynic still wants to ask, where does game become evil?
If you're trying to trick someone into a version of you that isn't real, that's toxic.
Versus prove you're compatible, which is honestly just adult dating.
And the app problem is people try to skip the proving ground like they want instant commitment.
Commitment speed run. Any percent glitch, no tutorial, straight to failure.
That's why dating apps can feel like a scam, because they reward selection, not intimacy.
Selection without retention, yeah. Matches are easy. Keeping someone is different.
Retention is about substance and complementarity, not just getting in the door.
Complementarity like two skill sets that make a team, not two identical CEOs arguing.
Yes, two CEOs is chaos. Two complementary systems is stability.
But isn't attraction still the gate? If you can't open the gate, nothing else matters.
Totally. Bottom line, everyone can improve what they control: hygiene, fitness, clothes, social skill.
And then the communication part. Like women say vibe, men hear word salad.
The vibe is emotional resonance, not just semantic meaning.
Translation. Men overanalyze the sentence while women are clocking the emotional frequency.
Like tuning forks, you get it or you don't.
My favorite tuning fork experience is my brain rejecting social reality.
Look, if you're nervous and literal, you'll sound robotic, like you're reading your own resume.
So dating like a job means you iterate fast, but you also learn emotional execution.
Exactly. Massive action is required, but massive action without a strategy is just panic posting.
And everyone thinks apps are the strategy when they're just the channel.
If you rely on apps casually, you'll spiral, because you'll interpret randomness as rejection.
Meanwhile, date like it's your job sounds like cold approaches, improv, failures, rinse, repeat.
Yep, because it's like learning a language. Embarrass yourself until fluency shows up.
I hate that it's true, but I hate that less than being invisible.
Invisibility is huge, especially for young men without money, status, or experience.
The catch-22, where you need experience to get selected, but you need selection to get experience.
Yeah, and then people blame their personality instead of blaming the system's constraints.
Also, there's this wider relationship crisis vibe: fewer marriages, fewer casual encounters, more confusion.
And men suffer differently than women. Men struggle to initiate. Women deal with abundance plus selection stress.
Abundance for women sounds nice until you realize half the suitors are creepy and the other half are exhausting.
Exactly. Consent culture made it clearer, but it also increased fear of missteps for some men.
So what do you do if you're scared to approach? Like literally frozen.
Approach with warmth and distance, never surprise, and treat no like training reps.
No, as your quarterly KPI of human progress.
Yes, respect the no because the alternative is creeping in and violating boundaries.
That's where that game of please no thing hits. Verbal requests, emotional framing, no rushing.
Right. You request, they can refuse. You learn how to convert no into maybe without forcing it.
But do people actually do that consciously, or do they just improvise awkwardness?
Most people improvise awkwardness and call it authenticity.
The job analogy is basically replace improvisation with practice loops.
Practice loops, yes. Then slowly disappointment becomes the path to real connection.
Real connection starts only after the halo effect cracks. That's the crisis of disappointment.
Yeah, because if you never see the real person, you stay in performance forever.
Performance forever sounds like my last startup.
Perfect analogy. Burn the fantasy, then build something durable.
Okay, wrap it for me. What's the one thing a guy should do this week?
Send more resumes, but also upgrade one controllable asset and one conversation skill.
And keep the mindset. You're not chasing worth, you're chasing data.
Data plus dignity, massive action, respectful no's, iterate fast.
Cool. And in episode 2, we go from selection to retention, how not to date like it's a performance.
Yeah, we'll talk how to turn matches into real stickiness without pretending endlessly.
All right, that's it for today. Go practice, don't spiral.
Keep your head up and your game learning. See you next time.
Episode 2 teaser. We're breaking down Perform Forever patterns and the selection versus retention trap.